and talk on KCAA 102.3 FM, broadcasting to the Moreno Valley, Corona, and Riverside.
The doctor is in. Welcome to the Psychic Love Doctor Show with host Deborah Lee. Deborah has been practicing, teaching, and perfecting the personal prophecy card reading method for 20 plus years. This life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. This inspiring show will help you never feel helpless in life or love ever again. Now, here's your host, Deborah Lee.
Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Deborah Lee. I am the Psychic Love Doctor, and I have my assistant love doctor, Lauren, sitting in with me.
Hey.
Thank you so much, Lauren. It's wonderful to have you here. And to all of you who have joined us, happy Friday. You know, it doesn't really get any better than this. Even though out here in Virginia Beach we're maybe staring down a hurricane. Those are some of the actually funnest times we have around here.
I love hurricanes. I like storms.
Without, of course, all the damage and destruction and the, you know, all
Yes.
that goes with it. But for those of you who are new, let me just recap, give you a little background on what we do. During this show, you will receive on the air psychic readings using a method that my grandmother taught me, which is called personal prophecy. Now, I did a lot of research on this particular method. I was taught about 35 years ago, 2 years, in fact, before my grandmother passed away. She handed me the fundamentals, and I used the next 20 years to advance what she had taught me. While I can find all sorts of tarot types of readings, I can find, oracle cards, angel cards, you name it cards. They are out there, and I think they're all wonderful methods. What I think is really distinctive about personal prophecy is we're able to dynamically change our future simply while looking at it while we're sitting here in the present. Now, I'm not going to even begin to say that everything that appears in cards when I give my readings is cast in stone. No, absolutely not. The future is very fluid. We hold a considerable amount of control over the path we take and the one we choose to navigate into the future. So I hope that this gives you a little bit of information about it. I am using, which I'm holding up for the camera, I am using nothing but ordinary playing cards. And yes, there are other methods of reading playing cards out there, but this is the one that I've been taught, and I have not used any other method in the years since. Now, Lauren is still, we're going to call you a Psychic Love intern.
I like it.
Because you're still working on your full-blown...
Yes, I'm a novice.
She is, but she does very well. You're also an award-winning hairdresser here in Virginia. Well, actually, I was going to say Virginia Beach, but to be more precise, you're in the Norfolk, Ghent area.
Yes, and I love it. And it's interesting because I think that you do a lot for the people that you do card readings for, and I kind of feel like there's some similarities with doing hair and with doing the card readings. You're able to more intuitively guide people and put them in a right direction. I'm just sort of there as a sounding board, kind of a therapist for a little bit, and in
your own way, you're doing life coaching too.
Yeah, sometimes it comes to that, which is actually one of my favorite parts about doing the job. I really enjoy, giving somebody, figuring out. It's funny, it sounds terribly shallow, but sometimes just parting somebody's hair in a new way or giving them some more texture, and they all sound like very shallow terms, but when someone figures out a new way of seeing themselves, I think that gives them,
I think you've mentioned to me over the years that you've dealt with a lot of people that are going through terrible breakups, divorces that have turned into jousting matches, practically to the death.
Yes.
You've had people that have lost babies.
Yes.
I mean, all sorts of different life situations have walked in your door.
Absolutely, and they all kind of similarly to your card readings, they're all very specific. Each situation is very specific, and helping somebody navigate their situation kind of through their hair and through being able to talk to somebody and getting personal attention, I think, is the key to it. And I think that's what I find that's very similar is when you give me card readings, it's that personal attention that you are talking about my situation with the hair. It really is about the client. It's about them. It's about how they look, how they feel about themselves, and what situations they're facing.
Agreed. Let's go to, we actually have Stacy waiting in the wings. She's also from Virginia. We're going to go to Stacy, but when we get back, I'd really like to talk about Meghan Markle, who married Prince Harry, and what your thoughts are about her hair.
Okay, I like it. All right, Stacy from Virginia, how are you doing? What's going on?
I am doing good. So I call. I think I call like every other week to see what's going on with the guy that I was seeing that broke it off because I wasn't Christian. I've since returned to church, not because of why we broke up, but because I was pagan for a long time, and there was no words of comfort that the pagan church could offer me, but the Christian church did. So I went back to church. I've been going weekly, if not more, and he knows. And I also know he's been working a lot, so I was wondering what his thoughts are on me going back to church when he's coming back, because I can feel his energy is still connected to mine.
All right, I think these are excellent questions, and I hope that the rest of you would please try to call in so you'll be able to get your reading tonight too. So here we go, Stacy. Give me a moment to lay out your cards. For those of you that may be interested, I am using a full 24 card spread or layout rather than simply a 1, 2, or 3 card spread. So I want you to know we're going to look at the whole playing field. And if anything really exceptional jumps out at me, I'm going to bring that into the reading too.
I like it. So, Stacy, kind of talking about our topic that we were just talking about, do you find yourself, depending on whether or not you're single or in a relationship or different events, have you ever done anything kind of crazy or drastic with your hair, do you feel like, during a stressful or a different time period?
I believe, hair has our cellular data in it, and therefore our cellular memory. So, when I got divorced, I did my hair darker than normal, and then when I was promoted, I did it differently. So yeah, in a way, new hair, new you, right?
Absolutely.
What's the saying? If she changes her hair, that way then you know the relationship is over. Something like that.
Is that really true?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It seems like sometimes women, and I didn't do this because my hair is very long, therefore very expensive to change at any time. Women tend to do their hair the way their partner likes it, but men don't reciprocate that. So, if you were dyeing your hair jet black because that's what your partner liked, but your hair was actually, bright blonde like mine, people tend to revert back to what they want at the end of a relationship, too. I've done it a couple times, but I was actually going to get my hair done tomorrow, except I've had some recent life changes, which, the Navy is pulling me away for an extended period of time, so I don't have the time to get my hair done. But, yeah. And that was the other thing I was going to ask is if I were to tell JJ that I was leaving for an extended period of time, would that bring him out of, the woodwork?
Okay, now here we go. In a nutshell, I want to tell you right off the top, you are facing a journey, and you pretty much have just alluded to that. While you're gone, I think it would be a wonderful time for the two of you to do a lot more communicating. Isn't it interesting? Not only does absence make the heart grow fonder, but it also enables us to free up our feelings a little bit and exchange more, whether it's an email or a Snapchat or whatever it's going to be, a text message. I think he will. You definitely need to let him know. If he isn't aware, do let him know. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain by telling him, you know, bon voyage, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
And I really, here's what I really feel. This guy is basically watching you. He's keeping his eye on you, even though you may not think it, but he's having a hard time actually believing that you have, well, how should we put it, found the Lord,
Sure.
found a new path toward to heaven, when I think this guy needs to reciprocate. He needs to reciprocate and give you the same in return.
Sure.
Instead of judging what your Wiccan past has been. He really needs to look at it. And this is something I found with my own family and friends from back home, which are very conservative people. They made judgments about what I do without looking at it. And that, to me, I felt was really judgy.
It is.
Especially for those with the Christian spirit,
Yeah.
if you will. Now, it's still going to take time, but I think, for one thing, he's going to miss your presence. So give him that sense of missing. Don't be too extravagant with those messages. And Lauren, I know you're very good at getting your man, so maybe you should give your tips too here.
I'm very honest. I think a long time ago, one thing I think reading or watching is just that women, sometimes we can tend to beat around the bush or not exactly say what we want, and I don't really feel like I have time for that. So I've kind of, whether or not it works or not, I don't know if I'd speak to you, but I've always kind of been like, okay, well, you know, if you don't want me right now, all right, I'm gonna go away and I'm gonna go do my own thing, and I really do that. So I would look at this as a time of self-exploration, and also, you know, not break off ties with him, but, you know, determine, is it that it's a challenge, or is it that you really want him and him do the same?
That's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes just the wanting can get us all lathered up, and maybe it isn't even really,
Yeah.
you know, what love. Maybe it's just a whole lot of lust.
Yeah.
So, but I think, Stacey, all in all, it's going to work out well. I think that when you get back, it would be nice to go out to have lunch together, to do, you know, some casual thing that is not hot and heavy and, you know, makes him run scared. These guys could be absolute warriors. They can be dragon slayers. And there's something about the emotions of their heart that turns them, you know, into frightened little boys. Sometimes they go running. And we have a man in our presence here. And maybe from the audience, you'd like to throw in a few thoughts, sir. What is it about men being dragon slayers, and, you know, you can wrestle a grizzly, but when it comes to how you feel, when there's love in your heart, why is this so scary for men?
Because we're taught from the time that we're a kid that we're not allowed to have emotions. We can't cry. We got to suck it up and be a man.
Ooh, yeah.
True.
Did you hear that, Stacey?
I did.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with that. Big boys don't cry. And maybe big boys don't feel love either. And mothers, we have to stop doing this to our children.
I think what's really interesting is that we continue to do that with, you know, I'm not really like that with my son so much, but to a certain extent. But I think it's funny, we raise men like, you know, you have to be tough, don't cry, as if in their future lives they will be slaying dragons or like fighting these campaigns. But in truth, we're raising people that are going to be sitting in cubicles or debating in a courtroom, and they don't really have to have this warrior exterior so much anymore. So that's, I mean, I don't know that I want, you know, men to entirely change, but I do think that's interesting. I don't know how you feel, Stacey, but isn't that interesting? Like, we're not really raising people that are going to be fighting battles all the time physically, but we're still raising them as if they are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it is. It is, because
Stacey,
I
really think that you have a lot to look forward to after your journey. And as I was gathering the cards, the journey card did fall out. I feel that down the road a piece, let's put it that way, I could see the two of you going off on maybe a weekend little trip somewhere. maybe up to, I don't know, I'm trying to, up to the Poconos. For some reason, that just really stuck out to me.
Poconos sounds
That
good.
just popped in my head, too. Yeah,
Did
that just
it
popped in my
really?
head, too. Yeah.
So I think that there are really good things in store. Just don't pressure him. He's going to run like crazy. So,
Yeah.
but you're under his skin. That much I can tell you. He hasn't forgotten you, and he won't.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much. I'll give him time and hold space
Thank you,
for him
and
stay
enjoy
positive.
and stay safe on your journey, all right?
And keep in touch.
I will.
Yes.
All right. Thanks so much.
All
Bye-bye.
Okay, we would advertise the phone number, but I don't have it right. It's 909 something. Can you, Josh, you have it available, don't you? Anyway,
the number, but
I think it's coming through to us.
yeah, but that is true though.
Yeah.
It is interesting that we're raising them. How were you with your boys? Were you like that? Do you feel like you kind of raised them to be?
I raised them to think of love as a strength, not a weakness. And I would say out of 6, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I think there's maybe only 1 or 2. There's 2. One that doesn't live here in Virginia and one that does, and he's still finding himself. They have problems with that. But, yeah, I wanted my sons to turn into men who would end up being really good husbands and fathers.
Aww.
You know.
That's wonderful.
I did, because they didn't really have a role model for quite some time as they were growing, and I'm really glad to say that they've turned out to be pretty fine.
Yes, they have.
And we have Karen from Massachusetts who's waiting to come on the air with us.
Hello, Karen, and what are you calling about?
Hello?
Hey!
Hi.
Welcome to the Psychic Love Doctor Show. What can we do for you, Karen? What's on your mind?
Okay, it's been a while since I called, but I think when I called, we kind of discussed a certain person and a relationship with that person. He's actually a policeman, and I just wondered if you got anything on that still, on that track or not with your cards.
Okay. I'm trying to... I usually have a pretty good photographic memory. I'm just hazy about you and this person. Can you just give me a little bit more detail as I go to my cards?
Give us a little refresher.
Let me see. There's not much to tell, only that I've seen him a couple times. He actually, around. He's actually had to come to where I'm living at my parents' house because of my mother and another incident that was regarding a cat. But it seems to, I see him a lot, and I didn't know if that was still in the cards or what was going on with that as far as that goes. There's not really anything going on per se, so
that's all right.
Sure.
This method is really quite uncanny when it comes to matters of the heart.
Yes, and I will say, even as far as love goes, no news is good news, because that means there's still a potential for something to happen.
That's very true. And that is essentially what these readings involve, is potential.
Yeah.
For what it lies ahead. And if something has no potential whatsoever, well, I will always share that too. I would hate to leave somebody beating on a door that's never going to open. So let's see.
So Karen, while she's doing her cards, I will ask you, what is the most drastic thing that you've done with your hair during some sort of, it was after the end of or the beginning of a relationship? Have you ever done anything with your hair?
At the end of what? With my hair?
Yeah, we're
like
talking about the psychic wonder of hair and change, and what it can do for ourselves.
Do you feel a connection with your hair? Like, do you ever feel like, oh, I just need to make a change? Have you ever done something drastic with your hair? Some people don't.
I have a couple times, not a lot, but a couple times. I've cut it really shorter, and a few times I've done that, but nothing, I wouldn't say really drastic, though.
How did you feel after cutting your hair?
Good, I guess.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Well, some people act as if they've just sheared off half of their soul, with their hair. Anyway,
Well,
Karen,
yeah, I can
getting
see
to
that.
you, I know you're dying to know. There is a huge question mark here about somebody taking a step to initiate communicating, as if through maybe Facebook or some kind of social media, using text messages. But it's saying here somebody's got to, make a move.
Makes sense.
Do you communicate at all? I think you said nothing's going on.
No, actually, one time, because a cat got hit by a car here, but it was okay. I called the dispatch thing to tell them that we did find the cat. The cat was okay, and so he had to call my number back. Of course, there's his block, so he actually does have he did have my phone number because of that. But other than that, there's just been like seeing this person in the passing. That's about it.
That's about it.
That's why.
That's
why I was wondering, like, So.
Do you know if he's on social media, like Facebook, Instagram, something?
I don't see him on Facebook.
A lot of people aren't doing it anymore.
Well, he's probably maybe because he's a police officer too, or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now I remember exactly, because I was thinking that as I was laying these down. I wonder if it's the police officer, and it is.
Right.
But
Right.
I think he's just nervous. He would like to make a step, but he doesn't want to, step over a line. So
Okay.
it would be real. Come on now, we women are really clever at engineering things.
Yes.
Running into somebody.
I've been thinking over here too. I'm like, what can we do that doesn't, cause any more cat trauma? So we can't do the cat again.
No, but you know how
that was my sister. Actually, that was my sister, but and he happened to be on. It was on the 4th of July. Happened to be on duty, and I was like, oh my god, weird that happened.
Okay.
He was on duty. So
well, this could take like a powwow or a think tank with girlfriends.
Sure.
Or us. That's what we are.
You need to be, we are the best detectives. So he doesn't have a Facebook, but do you know his full name? Like, this is really like Snoopy, but I mean, could you look up and see like
the police department page?
Yeah. Where his family that don't like stalk him, but like figure out like, does he play, I mean, you've got some time here. I'd say like figure out, like pretend like you're a police officer. Where does he hang out? Like who does he associate
plays
with?
Softball with the police.
Yes.
And then you can be at the game. Go ahead.
Well, the thing is that I don't know if you remember when I called before, but he was married. And that's why I was like, okay, what's the deal with this guy? But they did buy a house in town, but it looks like from what I'm looking at, it looks like they're not together anymore because the house is up for sale, and I don't know where the heck he is or what happened.
Yeah, she is right here. This was a totally wrong marriage partner for him. And I do feel that he's grieving over that. And there's that old saying, you never really get over somebody until you meet somebody else that can fill that hole.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
You could do really well just by being this friendly, pretty lady that shows up every once in a while.
Now, when you have had instances with him, do you strike up a conversation? Do you guys converse well? Do you feel like there's chemistry when you talk to him?
Yeah, it's been short and brief and nothing whatever, but there hasn't been anything really that whatever, so
I would say, and we don't have any way of determining when the next time you're going to see him, but maybe the next time that you're going to see him, just like, and sometimes people are surprised, like, you never really think somebody else likes you or, is attracted to you or anything or wants to have anything to do with you, but, maybe whatever you're talking about, be like, you know what? I really enjoy talking to you. Why don't we, grab a cup of coffee, something very, like, no risk involved, and nothing really bad. I mean, what's he going to be like? No, never.
No, but here's a good one.
All
He's a police officer, right?
Yes.
He's probably used to getting phone calls through his work.
Yes.
He could get a phone call from Karen. Karen? Yeah, oh, Karen. And she could be saying, I just needed some advice from you. My workplace, or do you have a workplace, Karen?
Do I what?
Do you have a workplace, or, are you affiliated with some place where you are a professional?
Not really right now, but I mean, I could call about something else, but.
Well, I was thinking what you could say is, whoever this group, it could be a social group of hers, it could be a social media group of hers, was interested in possibly helping out with, say, a police charity effort,
Sure.
where you're putting the ball out there, you're basically punting. Just something to think about, where you're asking for his advice. Men love to give advice.
And also, I think if it's something innocuous, something you're not going to feel bad about, like, asking, I think that there's no risk there. But, and men, too, sometimes are pretty clueless, like, if you're trying to flirt with them. So, he might even be like, well, I think she wants to go out for coffee, but I don't know if she likes me or not. But I think that could be a good starter in what she said with the charity event. I mean, I think,
Giving him, deflecting onto something else. But I feel that if you do make a move of some sort, he's going to see that as you attracted to him, and he's going to respond.
Okay.
So there you go. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
I know that. I understand the part about, getting over that, because I actually still, for a long time, still in a way have feelings for my ex-boyfriend, so I understand that, sometimes it takes a while,
Yeah, it does. But having friends is very healing, too. And the best foundation I've ever found for a long-term relationship is friendship. So I think you should call us again, and we'll explore this some more. And maybe as time passes, I mean, right now we're putting out the energy. We are actually projecting toward him through the energy of our cards. And people have told me these cards are like manifestation tools. So let's see. Now, you may have a stroke of serendipity. It's what, Friday? Let's say she's somewhere on Sunday, and boom, they run smack into each other.
I like it. Just be careful. Don't wear a helmet, though, because the hair is important.
She's choking me up over that.
Sorry. I won't say anything else mildly amusing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Karen. Before we go to Christina from Cali, we are going to do a station identification.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
And we're back. Christina from Cali, we would love to talk to you. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you, my dear?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear us? Hello?
Hello?
I think we lost her.
Oh, no. Did we lose you, Christina?
Hello?
Oh, there she is.
There you are.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I was going through a hill.
Oh, that is okay.
All right. Well, tell us how things are going and what we can work on for you today.
Well, I called last week, but it was like the last 2 minutes. So you were able to tell me just a little tiny bit and told me to call back again.
Okay.
It was about that I remarried my ex-husband.
Yes.
Yes.
And that I do love him, and he is trying, and we're trying, but I'm not sure if it's in between that and also like my job, which I also like. I have a decent. I like who I work with. I like everything about it, but I think I'm meant to be somewhere else.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, these are very vital feelings that she's having.
Absolutely.
It's her own intuition speaking to her. So we're going to take a look in the cards and see what we can find in terms of navigation for the future.
While she's doing her cards, a question I have for you is, if you were to picture kind of what would your life look like that would bring you the most happiness, what does that kind of life look like for you, and how is it different from what you have now?
Well, in the workplace wise, I've always was pushed to be in the healthcare profession.
Okay.
But I've always wanted to be in law enforcement.
Okay.
Ooh, how
But
exciting.
I'm like older now, so I think that might have been already out of the question.
Okay.
Not necessarily, depending on what area you want to go into. There's many facets. There's forensics.
Sure.
There's...
Well, yeah, I've always wanted to be in forensics.
Oh, and I don't think age would at all hold you back.
No, not at all. And I think if that's something that interests you and you want to explore more on it, I don't know how the state of California is, but I know here in Virginia, there are classes that you can take to, you know, and they do cost a little bit, but some of them are like $100. Like you could even just start out with something small, like even a unarmed security, or which sounds, you know, it's not exactly what you want to do, but it could put you in
It's a foot in the door.
Yeah, it could put you in touch with different people, and you could find out more about the career, how people, you know.
Christina, I've got to tell you that your cards are telling me that on a heart level, your spirit is really crying out for you to live a happier, more fulfilled, more,
engaging life.
Yeah. Yes. It's as if your spirit is withering. You know, think of like a house plant, that it's just not getting what it needs. It's kind of in darkness. It wants to get out into the light. What I feel is going to happen is the more that you yearn for this change between the marriage and your career, the more you are going to find things systematically deteriorating. This is the universe or the higher power's way of helping us to lead us to the future we truly deserve, to the calling. You have actually a calling in your cards in terms of law enforcement. You've got a gift, a real gift. You watch and see. If you go and start taking criminal classes and things like that, you are going to, it's almost like Lauren with her hairdressing. This woman is magical. When you put a pair of scissors in her hand, with you, you're going to be at the top of the class, and I feel that her further education is going to end up being, what do they call those when you get like a full ride?
Free?
Yeah, because she's so good at it. But the thing is, you've got to get out of the cage you're in. No, a way to begin would be to start exploring this. The marriage is going to take care of itself. I feel that you went back, the two of you tried again. Mainly what it was for is to eradicate all of the question marks, you know, the uncertainty, and now the two of you are going to be able to put a period at the end of that marriage and move on smartly. And I feel the two of you will stay friends. There's a really strong relationship here between the two of you. And I feel that if you just start making some baby steps toward a new life for yourself, it will fall into place. It will. It's out there. All you have to do is reach out and grab a hold of it.
Another thing, too, is sometimes I think even if you're in a relationship and you're currently not as fulfilled as you want to be, a lot of times we look at it like, well, if, you know, I were single, I would do this. But sometimes we have a tendency of using relationships and things as excuses. I'm not saying you are,
no, but we do. You're right.
We tend to do that. So what I would do is, and what I do is that I sit here and I'm like, well, what's really stopping me from doing this right now? I'm in a relationship currently, but you know, I'd be like, well, he doesn't really like being active. He doesn't like going to the gym. And I'd be like, well, if I was by myself, I would do this. But really, it's not on him to support the kind of life that I want. I need to go and live my life. And if he wants to be there with me for that, then that's great. But if not, then, like Deb said, it might take care of itself. But I would say, you know, try to think of some things. Picture your day, what your day is like when you wake up. How do you want to wake up in the morning? What do you want your day to look like? And really, it's going to be harder sometimes with somebody else there, but I would go ahead and just start making the ground. Yeah, start the groundwork for that.
Now, Christina, I have something to suggest to you to sort of get a taste of it. There's a national organization called the Medical Reserve Corps, and you mentioned that you do work in healthcare.
Yeah.
This is an organization. I actually belong to the Virginia Beach chapter here in Virginia. This is a actual, well, what it is it's like an emergency response group. Then the event that we have a catastrophe, whether it's a hurricane, terrorism, earthquake, whatever it might be, we would all be called to a staging area. We get a lot of training in psychological first aid, how to handle, like injuries out in the field, how to assist police, the fire department, EMS, all of that. And it's a wonderful way to meet people, network a little bit. Our group meets at the Virginia Beach Police Department, and it's just a great way for you to put herself a little bit, put her toe in the water.
Okay.
Sure.
It's volunteer work. You don't have to do anything that is going to take away from your life, but it is a marvelous organization, and you could bring a friend. My husband and I belong. We love it, and in the event there is ever an emergency, think of it this way. You have a safe staging area that you would be called to, and be able to start doing the kind of work that you feel called to do.
There we go.
So I leave you with this, Christina. I hope that you will call us again, because I'd love to further work with you on this. I have a feeling a year from now you're going to be amazed at how far you've come.
Okay.
So will you stay in touch with us?
I will.
Oh, thank you so much. We'll watch for your call.
Okay,
Have
thank
a
you.
good night, Christina.
Have a good night.
You too.
So now we are moving to Miami.
And I don't want to ruin the pronunciation of your name. So tell me how to say your name, and what are you calling about?
Galit?
Yes, Galit.
Yeah,
Okay.
good for you, Deb. I was nervous. I didn't want to ruin
Well,
it.
I was just taking a stab.
You did great.
Hi there. How can we
Hi.
help you this evening?
So my question for the reading I've been studying alternative medicine,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been trying to see if I want to start doing like a blog or YouTube post. I don't know if that's like a waste of time or if that would be something that would be a good thing to take on. Just kind of like what the cards are saying based on more like starting a media blog, starting different videos, starting more of like a media side job.
Is this for you to eventually work from?
Yeah.
Or is this simply for, okay, so it's not just informational purposes. Well, you've come to the right place. We actually have sitting here not just a hairdresser, but a marketing specialist. In fact, she was sought out by the, director of Dexter?
Well, it's the actor Michael C. Hall. He was in an independent film, and I was in the industry, sort of. So I just kind of, to tell you the truth, I took a stab at it. I added people, and I ended up meeting with the director, and he did a feature film with Michael C. Hall and Lucy Liu, and it sounds really ridiculous, but I did end up getting the job doing marketing for them. But on a whole, the ground basis for anything is just making sure that you are an expert as much as possible on current trends. I would watch as many YouTube videos kind of relative to what it is that you are thinking about doing, and that can kind of sound counterintuitive, like, well, I want to start my own. But really get in there, take notes. What do you like about the videos? What works for them? What do you think is missing? And
look for the gaps.
Exactly.
Myself, as a previous newspaper columnist, that was my forte.
Yes.
Just looking for the flaws, the gaps, the areas that needed to be filled in.
Yep, absolutely. And then you'll be able to figure out, how can I stand apart? And also, once you figure that out, then, everybody that you know locally, you're going to want to start with, everybody you might have on your Facebook now. Make sure, and just start. And the biggest thing, as far as if you're going to do YouTube, is consistency, kind of like we do the show every Monday and Friday. If you do start this thing, plan out what videos you're going to do, and then get started with that. And but I think even if it fails, so what? You have something, you can learn from it.
Honey, it's not going to fail.
Well, there you go.
I've got my cards here to back you up. 100%. In fact, if anything, it is going to be like a rolling stone, like a snowball that just gets bigger and bigger. So there is true success for you. What the cards say is not to knock traditional medicine, but to implement, or what would you call that? Like
integrate it.
Yes. Where, for instance, those coping with cancer, I have a husband doing that right now, where they've run out of treatment for him. He's now having to go on to clinical trials out of Bethesda, Maryland. The thing is, he doesn't have a whole lot of knowledge on what kind of support using alternative methods that he could use. What sort of herbals could be supportive? What kind of, treatments that are, not in the mainstream.
Yep.
And bring in, please, a lot of Eastern medicine. We need that. Western medicine is so big pharma crazy. It's like the Godfathers dealing out drugs to everybody. So, honey, you're going to be big. You're going to be very successful. And I have read that Instagram is the new Facebook.
Yes.
So bear that in mind.
And Instagram, the beauty of Instagram versus Facebook, you don't want to forget Facebook, because Facebook is kind of like, your birth certificate. Everybody has one, so you don't want to discount that. But with Instagram, the beauty of Instagram is you can get very specific followers very quickly.
Yeah.
You can find people and target people who are looking for alternative medicine. Go ahead and follow them. I would talk to you for a long time about this if we had time. But if you want, and if you're on Deb's
contact you.
Yeah, you can contact me. If you follow the Psychic Love Doctor online on her page, I'm sure I've commented, or you can find me, and I'd be happy to go ahead and correspond with you and some ideas.
Go to the Psychic Love Doctor show page. You can also find us on KCAAradio.com. Shoot us out a message, and I will make sure that she gets it. And then
thank you so much.
Oh,
yep, no problem.
I think it was truly a stroke of serendipity for you to call us.
I love serendipity.
And for us, I do too, don't you? It's so amazing when things just show up like this, So please, you've got nothing but success ahead of you, nothing to lose, and everything to gain. Okay?
Yes, thank you. And I love watching you guys.
Oh, thank you. Well, please.
We love having you watch us.
Yes, and please call us. Please call us. We love that. Thanks a lot now, hon. Have a great weekend. Now,
thank you.
Okay. You have our man here, our handsome young single man who's been manning the technology. He's got a couple of Facebook Live questions, do you not?
We've got a couple people ready here. So we've got Lois, who wants to know when she's going to be meeting somebody, if it's going to be soon.
All right, Lois. I like people named Lois. They always sound, I think it's from Superman and the Lois, and they always seem like they're always like really cool. Like
my very first handle, what do you call it, screen name?
Yes.
Way back in the day when I joined AOL was Lois Lane.
Was it?
It was.
You are a Lois Lane. You're mysterious
and nosy,
professional, provocative. I like a Lois.
All right. Well, let's focus on Lois right now and see if there will be, how was it worded again? Somebody special?
Somebody special coming to your life soon.
Okay.
All right.
These cards belong to Lois. And see, we're able to do readings for ourselves, which I do daily. And we can also do, of course, readings for others.
I like it.
And please, everyone, this is not a gift. It is a skill. And I get a lot of flame mail from different card readers out there and mediums and psychics that get after me because they are so convinced that it is a gift. I have taught this to others, and I'll tell you, as long as somebody really wants to learn, they will learn.
I think it's interesting, and something we were talking about earlier about the lies we kind of tell others and the lies we tell ourselves. And I was just thinking, I kind of had like a little aha moment was what your gift is, though, in truth, if you think about it, is being open and receptive to the truth of a situation, the truth of limitations, and everything else. I kind of see it like that. Like, I think you have to be open. Isn't that true?
It is true. You've got to open yourself, and you cannot be judgmental. I can't bring any of my own feelings, prejudices or anything like that. So for Lois, well, she used the word soon. Soon is a word I really like, but it can mean as soon as, say, tomorrow to 2 years from now. That's still soon if you think in terms of between now and 10 years from now. What she's got to do is stop looking, stop thinking about it, start just letting each day take her where it will. And that's how it just falls into place for us. And she's probably out there rolling her eyes saying, oh, that's what they all say. But I sincerely mean it. You have some other things to attend to first, Lois. First of all, I see more money coming into your life. I see you taking a better position for yourself. There's a big step up here, and I feel it's a promotion or a job that you have wanted, and it's going to fall right into your lap, and that is coming very soon.
Yay!
I'm going to say, I can't believe the summer's already gone. I would say it's, we're in what, September?
Yeah, September.
I would say December into the first part of the year. That is when you are going to be given, if not sooner. I mean, I just don't like to say it's coming, next week. Because when next week comes and it doesn't happen that quickly, then everybody gets upset with me.
Or couldn't it be true, too, for your cards? It's like, well, you see somebody of importance coming in December, January. Now, if somebody comes into your life maybe in the next couple of weeks, that might not be the person that, you should be pursuing.
Right. Very good. I'm glad you brought that up. That could be a door opener. I mean, a lot of times, especially if we haven't dated, for a very long time, we need what I call a door opener. This is a relationship that comes along that isn't meant to last long. It isn't meant to hurt you. It's somebody coming into your life. If you're a woman, it's a man coming into your life to bring all those wonderful, passionate juices and to make you feel like this sexy, beautiful woman that you've buried. You have, you've been wearing sweatpants and and hoodies, and now you're suddenly shopping for lingerie, and you're right.
Yes.
You're looking at those, what pumps that there's. Yeah.
Oh,
can't say it on the air, but and that's the one that is getting you ready for the real one coming for you. I'm going to say that you have actually a male friend that's going to introduce you to someone, could even be like a family member because this relationship is so close, and this is going to be your number one. This is going to be the one for you, Lois. And that is the one that I feel is coming soon.
There you have it, love for Lois.
And that'll be the one that lasts you for the rest of your life. So watch out for the other ones that, there's a saying, there's many fish in the sea and only a few dolphins. So watch out for all those fish. You want to wait for your dolphin. But do let that door open, or what kind of fish would it be?
Hopefully not a mackerel. I will tell you what. You know what I feel bad about? If we don't have another question. Have you heard about these blobfish? Josh, have you ever heard of the blobfish? Let me tell you. Google this blobfish, and it has been deemed the most unattractive creature in the world. But you know what I found out about this blobfish, Deb?
What, honey?
The reason why it is so unattractive when it's photographed is because they are all dead. They have been brought up from I know this is weird, but I feel passionately about this blobfish because I think it's been given undue credit as being very unattractive. They are from I don't know why I'm talking about this, but they've been brought up from these lower parts of the ocean, and when they're brought up,
they die?
They expand, so they bloat because they are dead.
Oh my
and
gosh.
We are telling them how ugly they are. They have been photographed and posted, and on behalf of all blobfishes everywhere, they are actually, and I found an article, I was like, why are they so ugly? they actually look like a very normal fish in their normal living environments, and this is probably the weirdest thing I've talked about on this show.
They need therapy. They really do.
We're here for you. We can do cards readings for you.
Did you have someone else yet for me?
I'm sorry.
Well, we have a blobfish online.
Oh, do you?
Hello.
We had Yolanda, who says she has very big moves and changes coming into her life. She wants to know if they're right for her.
Okay. Yolanda, this
Deb,
one's for you.
Deb's going to do the cards on you, Yolanda. You know, I
think your blobfish thing was actually a public service announcement.
It was. So, look these things up, people.
So we can all be aware now.
That is so cruel to me. Like,
maybe there'll be a hashtag #MeToo blob movement.
I think it's terrible. The worst photograph you could possibly have of all these poor fish. I used to want to be a marine biologist, so I'm kind of nerdy about fish. You've learned something new about me, okay? I like fish.
Do you think they have a consciousness?
Well, it depends. A lot of marine life cuttlefish are very smart. Some more things, unless you got Yolanda's card.
I do, and I know we're so
I'm
short.
Sorry.
We will carry on with her next time, all right?
Sorry.
Yolanda, get out there, do this, and go with a strong competitive edge. You know, to me, when I'm in competition, I may seem meek and mild just in my regular life, but you get me out there competing for something, I will go for the blood. I mean, it's a war.
Yes.
And you need your weaponry, and you need your foot soldiers. Yolanda, you got it. Go do it.
Do it.
Do it. And I'll tell you, it may start out a little rough and rugged, but it's going to be downhill after that all the way. Awesome cards. I hope, Yolanda, you call in, because then we can converse more with you and talk more about it. So we're getting real close, and we got to do our final announcement. So, so Yolanda, take care. You go with our blessing.
Yes.
All right, and I want to thank Josh, who's behind our technology, and also KCAA, who always puts up with us every Friday.
I want to thank every blobfish out there.
And blobfish.
Blobfishes everywhere.
It needs to be a movement, people. Yes. It does. I want to thank the beautiful Lauren, who sits in and comes up with the most mind-blowing things.
Sorry.
And especially to all of you. Oh, my goodness. If we didn't have you, what would we have? Dead air. We'd just sit here. We'd have nothing.
We'd be like a blobfish.
Dragged up from the depths of the ocean to just sit there and be ugly.
I'm telling you.
So if you get a chance, get the Psychic Love Doctor app.
Yes.
You can read situations for yourself. It's easy. It's free. Go to the Google Play Store. If you happen to have an iPhone, we're having trouble since the system upgrade for the iPhone, getting it back on track. So go to my website, psychiclovedoctor.com. You'll see in the top heading it says free reading. Click there, and voila, what you actually have is the same thing that we use in the app. Bookmark it, and you got it. It's yours.
You've got it.
Send us any questions to the Psychic Love Doctor Show on Facebook. And can you think of any last? Oh, tomorrow, anybody who's local, and even if you're not, I will be at the Wellness Health Expo event in Hampton, Virginia. This is a wonderful event. If you're local, come see me. It'll be at the Marriott Ballroom, I believe. I might be wrong, but I think that's where it is. Otherwise, if you're not local, I will be also giving show readings over like Facebook Live or Skype. So all you got to do is get in touch, and we'll hook you up.
Get in touch. She's amazing.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate everybody's support. I love how you all call in, and I especially love when you share your success stories with me. I don't take this, I'm not arrogant about this. If anything, I'm very humble, because I do feel that there's a lot of divine intervention involved. So please be in touch. We love having you join us for these shows. And with that, Lauren, I think we're going to have to turn off the lights and lock the door.
Sounds good.
So everybody, take care. Have a safe, wonderful weekend. Let's watch out for that hurricane. And God bless y'all. Love you. Bye-bye.